You're never gonna guess what's happening right now. What? We're doing the pirate game. Also, you're probably very confused by why I sound like this. I'm using a different mic right now because my other mic, the real fancy one that I use for Vestaria Saga, is like a Yeti or whatever, and it captures everything, including all my keyboard presses and stuff, and that just sounds bad. So I'm not doing that. I'm also getting a lot of lag in game, but don't mind that. So yeah, I'm using my actual like headset mic, which sounds a lot worse, but it doesn't pick up all the keyboard presses. So yeah, we're in Sea of Thieves though. I haven't recorded Vestaria Saga in a while, and figured I would talk a little bit about that and some other stuff. And at the same time, I got a big old box full of worms and a fishing rod and some cool tricks. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. So I just figured make a real relaxing Sea of Thieves thingy where I show y'all how to fish and I talk. This is my fox down here. Hey, he didn't have a name yet, but trying to get to that point. Hey, buddy. Alright, go back to sleep. Sorry for waking you up. Go on, go to bed. Hey, go to sleep. Alright, whatever. Anyway, yeah, I'm out here fishing for different sorts of guys. Yeah, isn't this weird though? Playing pirate game and using a different mic and all this stuff. Yeah, I haven't recorded Vestaria Saga in a while because I don't know. Motivation's been a little low on it. You know, when I first set out to, that makes it sound so grand, but when I first decided that I wanted to record Vestaria Saga, um, you know, one, it's just because I love those games. What do we got here? But also two, I really wanted to generate conversation about it because not only is it one of my favorite games in existence, but it's not very popular, you know, and sometimes it's nice to just have people to talk about your favorite things with, and I don't really have that. Like a long time ago, I got on like the forums for those games where people like have a little game, and like I would like send messages with people, and we'd be like, "Oh, these games are great," but that's not the same, you know. I want to like be in a room with someone and be talking about it. Get my worms off there. I just want some aisle hoppers. And yeah, and so I really wanted to generate some dialogue over the games um, by uploading some videos, and I also just wanted to like document my playthrough of it so that in the future, if I, you know, want to look back, I don't have to replay the game again. I can just watch myself having already played it. I'm not really a guy who likes to replay games too much. Um, I like remembering stories, so that's why I wanted to play through on YouTube, is so like I can go back and reread over the story. But I'm not really a fan of replaying games, if that makes sense. I like to play a game once and then be done with it. And obviously, unless it's like an online game like Sea of Thieves. Which, by the way, it's kind of nuts that it took me this long to play my favorite pirate game on this channel. But here we are. Anyway, what I'm getting to though is that I wanted to start dialogue about Vestaria Saga, and I also just wanted to, like I said, have a source to look back at when I, you know, just want to relive the game in a way. And I'm definitely accomplishing one of those goals. You know, I'm literally just I'm uploading the videos as something to look back at in the future when I eventually play the second game. I don't have to, you know, force my way through the game again to get the story down. I can just watch it again. But there hasn't, you know, and I kind of expected this. But there hasn't really been any sort of interest in it. Um, outside of like myself and you know a few of you that watched like a couple episodes, um, which is fine. I'm not like blaming anyone. It's again I warned everybody. It's one of the least. I'm all wet. You know what would be really fun? Fishing on a rowboat. I'll go get some isle hoppers or some wild splashes after I get these isle hoppers. Um, but yeah, what was I saying? Oh, it hasn't really sparked any dialogue, um, because I don't think that anyone's that interested in it. Which again, I expected, and I'm not hurt by. I kind of knew that was gonna happen, but that's definitely hurt the motivation side of things, because it's like now I'm putting in all this extra effort to make the game more accessible to other people, you know, trying to do the voice acting, trying to talk about as I'm going through levels, trying to remind people about story events and why things are happening, and trying to just make the game more fun, because, you know, just looking at it, it kind of looks like it got pooped out of an old toaster in the 60s. But despite all that effort, and like genuinely it does kind of put some stress on me sometimes, um, it hasn't really paid off at all. So yeah, it's been a bit tougher to make myself sit down and record an episode, just because I feel like I'm doing all this extra stuff, but I still don't get to talk to anyone about it. Um, but yeah, I'm not trying to like make anyone feel bad. I'm still, hey, Indigo Splash Tail, I'll gladly take that. I'm still, you know, perfectly fine. I just, you know, not really sure where I'm gonna go from here with Vestaria Saga or not. I was talking to one of my buddies the other day, Mason, and Mason actually thought of a great idea, which is I've been wanting to write a lot more. I used to write a lot of like D&D shorts, like just like character stories and stuff. Those of you who know how I feel about D&D know that I have a very complex relationship with D&D. Um, but despite that, one thing that is for certain is that I love writing for D&D. I love just writing stuff in general. Does this kind of sound like I'm talking over a telephone to you? Like, dang, I'm coming home. Bing, bing. I don't know what that was. Alright, but like, I really like writing stuff for D&D, and so and a long time ago, what I did is I got so into this one guy that I was writing about. His name is Kato, and he's basically just me as a D&D character. Um, I got so into writing like stories about him that I I wrote a whole bunch, probably like I think he wasn't my longest story, but I think I did write a good like 15 or so pages for Kato. And then what I did is I recorded all of it, like voice acted, reading out the story, or narrated it, and and then I edited music over it, like fitting ambient sound effects and music and stuff. And but this was all done back when I was like a freshman in college, and I only had this mic, or maybe my last headset mic, so like it sounds really bad. But I've thought about writing more of those, um, and recording them and re-recording the ones that I recorded a long time ago and doing the same sound effect stuff and all that and uploading those to YouTube. I thought that, would be pretty fun. That'd be a fun little project. And I really like just seeing my stories come to life in a way. And Kato is very personal to me too, because like I said, he's a D&D character, but like for Mason and like Easton, who are like the two guys that have read the stories, they could both tell you that like Kato's literally just he's me. Like, or those of you, the rest of you all who like have seen the picture of Kato, like because I draw portraits for all my D&D characters too. He's literally just me. Oh, I didn't even show off my boat. I gotta show you all my boat. Look how many fish I've caught now. Don't ask about the burnt one. Don't ask. I should totally... Oh, whoops. Come on. Get in there. I should totally catch some wild splashes and then take a robot out. Uh oh, what's that? Ship. Let's check, see where that guy is. Uh-oh. That's a Reaper right there. He's headed this way. Well, this episode might not just be fishing. This might be a crazy episode. Is he really headed this way? Yeah, sure is. That's a Reaper. Alright. Well, let's fish some wild splashes up. What was I saying? Oh yeah, but I thought about recording Kato's stories and doing voice acting and all that. I think that'd be fun. I really was proud of the ones that I did a long time ago, even though the mic quality sucked because it was this. Yeah, Kato's cool though. I mean, he's me, so. Oh, wow. Oh, that's a good fish, but I'd rather save my bait for some wild splashes. What was I saying? God, sorry, I keep getting distracted by the fish. Yeah, so if that's something that you all would be interested in, let me know. I mean, I'll probably try it out at some point. I've been wanting to write a lot more anyway. I really like writing for D&D. Unfortunately, I'm just not a huge D&D fan, like, which I know doesn't really fit me. I'm sure a lot of people will be like, Kevin, you should be in love with D&D. It's so up your alley, but it's really not. I don't want to get into D&D hating tangent, but like it's just not my game. I wish it was a bit more open. I kind of just like the role playing. But yeah, I love writing for it though, because the writing's as open as you want it to be. You can write anything you want. And Kato's a cool guy. He's done some crazy stuff. Wow, what is this crazy fish? Holy hell, look at this thing, guys. Oh, I'm gonna catch this one. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, he's pulling hard too. Oh, come on. Ooh! If you'll notice, my fishing rod's got some giant fins on the back. Those are fins off the tentacle of a kraken that I took down. My pirate's pretty rad. Speaking of my pirate and Kato, the D&D character, they're literally all just me. Like, I know a lot of people play D&D with the idea of like, oh, I want to make a character as radically opposed to myself as possible that I can play, so that I can play something different and unique and fun. And I get that, and that is really fun to do. I've written some characters before that are so antithetical to who I am. Like Teslim, for example, is this guy that I wrote the most, just like, I don't even know how to describe him. Like, old, curmudgeon-y, battle-scarred, badass. Nothing like myself. Um, that was a cool looking fish. But I've gotten to the point recently where it seems like all the characters I make are just me in the game. Like, I know my pirate doesn't really look like me. I mean, maybe he does a little bit. My goal was to make him look like me. Like, let's see if I can get a cool... Oh, this one's cool. I like this one. Put me on flat ground so I don't look dumb. So yeah, I tried to get this guy to look like me a little bit. He's got the hair. I love this new outfit I just came up with. It's got lots of yellow, and then the little red Jack Sparrow bandana on top. My pirate's a cool guy, if you can't tell. Alright, yeah, I feel like recently I've just made all my characters look like me. I kind of forgot about that Reaper. The musical Sloopy. Alright. Well, don't bother me, I'm fishing. But yeah. I don't know where I'm gonna go from here, though. So, I mean, I could record some Sea of Thieves videos. I think for a while I'm just gonna spend a lot of time fishing in this game because it's very relaxing. I've done so much adventurous stuff in this game. I've gotten to a point now where I'm like, I just kind of feel like fishing. I could record Sea of Thieves videos. I thought this medium would work really well for tonight because I just wanted to talk to you all, but I didn't just want to like talk over nothing. I was like, well, I can just fish. That's simple enough that I can not get too distracted by it. I don't know. Sea of Thieves has always been sort of like my game. You know, I like sharing stories about it with other people, hence why I'm the pirate storyteller. Look up there at the top right. But I don't know, when I'm actually in the moment, I feel like Sea of Thieves is one of those games that I kind of just like to have to myself. You know, I really like to immerse myself in Sea of Thieves. And I feel like if I'm commentating on it, then I'll lose that spark. Get out of here. Where are all the wild splashes at? Could do the D&D reading videos. I could continue with Vestaria Saga if people, you know, tell me that really is what they're interested in. I don't think so. I'd really love to show off Berwick Saga at some point. That's my all-time favorite game. I have a million different, like, I've got the cover from the game, which I spent too much money on a long time ago. I'm kind of embarrassed by how much money I spent on that. Where are the wild splashes? Come on, guys. You know what? Here. We're getting on our rowboat. We're gonna go get some wild splashes. That's my boat, by the way. That's the Storm Sung Shanty. I named her. It's got the beak of a kraken on the front. Alright. Anyway. I'd love to show off Vestaria Saga. I mean, that game's more accessible than Vestaria is, but I still don't think people would be that interested in it. That really is my favorite game of all time. So I spent all that money on the box art and stuff. I also bought a pocket watch from it, which I think is so cool that this is a thing. It's got a little, the main character on the horse in the front, and then a dragon. That's so awesome. Trying to think of what else I could do. I don't know. I'm still getting aisle hoppers. Come on, man. I'm not near the island. Yeah, I guess I am. Alright. This should be good. Gotta make sure I keep my eye on that Reaper over there. Where'd he go? Oh! There he is. I don't really know what to do, though. I mean, I've already written a lot of D&D stuff, so I feel like the easiest thing would be to share all that with people. I am really proud of what I've written. Yeah, unless I really get some comments telling me otherwise about Vestaria Saga, I'm not really sure if I want to keep uploading that to YouTube. I just don't really feel like it's worth the effort on my part. I'd rather just record it for myself and then, you know, have the recording in case I ever want to go back and watch it. But actually uploading it and everything with all the commentating is a little strenuous at times. Not like stressful, like it doesn't give me a whole lot of anxiety, but it definitely requires a lot of energy, you know, like when I play it by myself, I get very excited and stuff over the things that happen, but I'm also very, like, you know, I don't constantly talk about everything, and I try to make it more fun for you all, in the moment. Whereas for me, when I'm just playing on my own, I don't have to do that. It's already super fun for me. Has it been 20 minutes? Yeah, I can keep it going. Looks like that Reaper's sailing off. Go that way. Don't come back. What? I have a ghost banjo in this game. Huh. What else can we talk about, though? Hope everyone's been doing good. I've been good, for the most part. I get very anxious about a lot of things. Growing up is difficult. And, feeling like I'm a good partner is, very difficult for me as well. But, hey, that's a big fish. I think that's why that's why I also I've gotten to this point where I really, really like relaxing games too, like this, where I can just sort of chill, not have to think too hard. That being said, I'm really good at this pirate game, and if you try to fuck with me, I will fuck you up. I'm just putting that out there. You do not mess with me. I'm a ghost in this game. I can literally turn into a ghost pirate. I'll prove it in like 10 or 15 minutes. Come on, buddy. Come on. My fox is doing okay on the boat. It'd be funny if I looked over and the boat was on fire. He was just sitting there laughing. Maybe I should do the D&D thing though. Those stories were really cool. So Kato is, like I said, very heavily based on me. But the sort of the seed that I had for writing Kato, the idea, original idea, was I was driving home one night, and I think I had just gone to a D&D session at my friend Easton's house. Easton's always our my friend group's go-to DM, because that dude's phenomenal at not just like world building and mission building, but he's really, really fluid in carrying out a mission and carrying out dialogue and stuff like that. That guy can just improvise on the spot like no other. And there was one night I was riding home, and it was pouring down rain, and I was driving on the highway, and my windshield's all wet, right? And it wasn't raining so hard that I had my window wipers going like... It was more of like a... You know, it was like a mild sprinkle. But it was enough so that my windshield was covered in rain. And the lights on the highway, as I'm driving under them, you know, they're all sort of methodically placed apart, like whatever, 30 by 40 feet, something like that. And every time I went under one, it would shine from the bottom of my windshield up the top, and all the little water giblets would light up at a time, and it looked like a line, like a ray of light going from the bottom to the top. It would go, the light would go like that, and I was listening to some really intense like writing music, because I really like listening to a lot of instrumental stuff when I drive, and I was looking at that, and I was really fascinated by it. And then I thought, gosh, you know, there's those there's those tests out there. The Rorschach. Is that what they're called? Rorschach tests? I think that's what they're called. Or is Rorschach just the superhero? That'd be really awkward if it was just the superhero. I'm a psych major. But the, you know, where you get like the cool pattern of some sort of inky image, and you know, they'll have you look at it and then generate some sort of open response as to how it makes you feel, or what it is that you picture in the ink blot. And that's kind of what the light reflected in the rain reminded me of. And I thought, gosh, you could really see images in that if you were, you know, looking at it and just trying to get creative. And then I thought, how cool would that be if there was a guy who didn't really have any superpowers or anything. He was just kind of a normal guy. But whenever it rained and there were like lights nearby, what if he could see things in the rain? Like, I'm trying to think of what to compare it to. Imagine you're standing outside in a field, okay? And there's a lamppost in the middle of the field that's shining down in like a yellow incandescent light, and it's pouring rain, and in the pouring rain the light is shining, and imagine you have this power to see like silhouettes in the rain. Like the rainwater itself is taking shape as it's reflecting the light, and taking the shape of like silhouettes of things, like people or something. And you know, there's no explaining what this power of yours is. Maybe you're seeing ghosts. Maybe you're seeing, maybe it's just hallucinations. Who knows, you know? And that was the original idea for Kato, was what if there's a guy that had this power but was otherwise just powerless? And and that's another reason I love Kato, is because, like myself, he's not a trained knight. He's not a fighter. He's a little kid that grew up in a small town and wanted to see the world, and so he set out with a singular sword and a dream. And he did like take sparring lessons as a little kid and stuff, but you know, if he were to actually be in a battle, he'd be fucked. And I would love to use him in D&D because I love the idea of relying on wit rather than like stats in D&D. I think that's such a cool thing that you can do. So yeah, that was the original idea for Kato. I got all these different characters, and with each one, there's always been like a singular moment where I thought, ooh, I could build an entire character off that. Teslim, the other character that I mentioned, was built off the idea of simply a dysfunctional family. I was like, I want to make a guy with the most dysfunctional family. And his story is all about a civil war and warring tribes that are each led by a different one of his own siblings. And, you know, that's a really fun story. That's the longest character backstory I've ever written. It's a good 30, 34, 37 page. I don't remember. Something like that. Easton would know off the top of his head. That guy's got a super memory. And he's also probably ingrained in his memory because I forced him to read the whole thing. But yeah, Teslim's cool. Kato's the rain thing. So like, for example, Kato, I've got some real cool stories. There's one that's all about, his stories I originally wrote as journals. I've thought about going back and changing them so that they're just third-person stories instead of like recountings of times when he was younger. Because I was thinking about it and I was like, the events are a little too specific. It doesn't make sense that he would remember these from when he was like 8, you know? Yeah, Kato, like I have this one story where him and his dad go to like basically like a farmer's market when he's very, very young over the summer, and there's a summer storm, and so the farmer's market closes early, and his dad isn't successful at selling anything, and they're very sad, and so they're sitting out in the rain, and then him and his dad fall asleep, and then they wake up and they're going home, but Kato sees some visions in the rain along the way, and then also meets a drunk guy and they sing a song together. I love that story. That's one of my favorite things I've ever written. What other characters have I written? I've written some pretty crazy ones. I have another guy, not one of my favorite characters, unless I feel like I could portray him differently than I did when I used him in D&D, and it would be cooler. But I had this one guy who was a monster hunter, but not by trade, simply by, like, he set out to kill a monster, personal reasons. And his whole idea started from one night I was sitting with my disco ball in my room, which is right up here, you can't see. I know that's a rare thing, Kevin and his disco ball. And I took this picture of my disco ball reflected in my eye. Like I had zoomed in real close to my eyeball. Look at all these fish I'm getting. And I thought I could see my disco ball in my iris. And I was looking at the picture and I thought, wow, it kind of looks like a monster sitting under a full moon. And then I thought that would be such a cool D&D character. Like, imagine if I could draw that, and his, like, the cover art for his story would be a close-up of his eye, and in the close-up, you would see the monster sitting on a cliffside underneath the full moon's light. And also, he ended up having a power with his eye, too. What was his eye thing? I'm trying to remember. I think he was attacked or something by the monster, and it cursed him. Or was there a... Oh, gosh. I don't remember. I might have been inspired a little bit by an Olin Rogers story on that one, because Olin Rogers had a story about a guy. Olin Rogers is a guy on YouTube, by the way. Olin Rogers had a story about a guy who I don't know, like his significant other died or something like that, and the trauma of the event manifested itself in a mark across his eye. And I almost feel like I did something similar with this guy. His name was Hark, H-A-R-K. And I think Hark had a thing like that, where this monster, like, did some bad stuff to him, and he was cursed, not by the monster, but, like, by a deity that basically said, like, you need to set out and avenge everyone that you lost, kill this thing. And it left a giant blue mark across his eye, and also gave him powers, like he can summon his own ghost sword, which is cool as fuck. Who else did I write? Oh, Kefka the Halfway Home Hero was one of my favorites that I wrote. I just love the title, The Halfway Home Hero. He was whoa, that was a wild one. He was a guy that, I don't know the best way to describe him, like an interdimensional wizard. He had these friends and a girlfriend and stuff, and then some shit went down. And, oh, I keep getting wet and falling off the boat. These waves. And, trying to think of how to explain Kefka. I don't remember exactly what happened to him either, but he got trapped basically in an alternate universe, and he could still catch glimpses of his friends and everything from the universe from back home, but he couldn't talk with them or anything like that. Hey! Oh, I thought he got my earthworms. I would have been mad at that splash tail. I've written quite a few, though. Garrett was the very first character I ever wrote. He was just a big night guy. He was cool. Gaius was really rad. Gaius was evil. Gaius was like the one character that I've written that was just above and beyond evil. But I also thought he was a really neat character. He was a politician. Anyway, I've been talking a lot about my, oh, that was a wild splash. I've been talking a lot about my D&D characters. Not really sure what else to talk about. I hope none of y'all are, like, saddened by me saying what I said about Vestaria Saga. I really don't want anyone to feel bad. Like, again, I did not expect people to be interested in it. I did think it was really funny when I made that first introductory video, and I was like, would people be interested in this? And everyone was like, yeah, Kevin, like, do it, man. Like, sure, we'll watch it. And then, I don't know if anyone said we'll watch it, but people were very nice about it. Like, Kevin, like, of course, like, you know, full on, very supportive and everything. And I was like, all right, I'm warning y'all. And then I made that first episode, and I feel like everyone looked at the game and was like, oh shit. Oh shit, Kevin wasn't joking. Like, it's really nasty. Oh, I'm gonna feel really bad uploading this now, though. Like, I feel like people are gonna feel guilty. Like, I'm, like, ooh, coral. Like I'm begging for views or something. That's really not it. Like I tried to say earlier, it's just kind of like it's a strenuous thing on my mind and like doing the commentary and everything. And I would definitely want to keep doing it if it was generating conversation, but it's just not. Which is fine with me. Like, you know, ever since I first played the game years and years ago, I haven't talked about it with anyone since then. So like, trust me, it's not gonna like screw up my mental health that I can't talk about the game. I've had many years without being able to talk about it. But I definitely recommend checking it out though to anyone that thought it looked cool. Or again, if anyone does say, hey, I really was watching it, continue, you know, I totally will. I just, as of right now, I think I'm gonna take a break from it. I'm definitely gonna finish my playthrough of it though, and I'll record it. It'll probably be low on the commentary because it'll just be for myself again, but it will be voice acted probably, and then down the line, if people end up saying, hey, upload that, then I'm, you know, sure. But I really want to get into the second game because I've never played the second one before. Oh, this guy got tired fast. I really wish, if it did garner interest, I'd really want to share Berwick Saga with everyone. Because Berwick Saga, like I said, is my favorite game. There's no better story out there in a game. It's so good. It's so just complete, you know? Everything ties together so neatly. It's really, really good. It's got a huge cast, but everyone works together in it splendidly. Look at that storm off in the distance. Sea of Thieves is such a pretty game. Oh! This guy is really crazy, this Ocean Wild Splash. What's he doing? Alright. Anyway, how long has this video been now? 42 minutes. Should I keep going? I mean, if y'all want, you can just sit with me while I finish out fishing. I'm probably just gonna get a few more now. I love fishing in this game. It really is just a beautiful, beautiful game. Like, look at all the clouds and the sun and the music. Oh, listen to this. I got a ghost banjo. Storm's coming this way. Isn't that so pretty though? You can see Galleon's Grave outpost from here. I know this whole map like the back of my hand. I've played this game so much now. It's like my favorite online game. squabbling or quarreling. When we have the wind in our sails. Da-da-da, here comes a big storm. And what is that? Oh, that's a fort. Oh. Well, anyway. I guess I got enough fish here. I'll probably head back and go ahead and go sell these fish. But yeah. Thank you all though for listening in. I guess I'll go ahead and close out the video. Not really sure what the goal with this was other than just to update you all and let you know how I've been feeling. I hope all of you are doing okay. It's a crazy world. Whoa, missed my boat. Alright, well anyway, have a good night though guys. I will see you all whenever I see you.